Looking confident as always.
Yep, and his opponent over at the 8 o'clock position, wearing the orange trunks, as our fair Total Biscuit would say, it is Quantic.Illusion.
Yep. There he is on the screen as well. Looking intense, man. I mean, this is a big deal for him. Like we said, I mean, he is going up against 3 of the best StarCraft players in the world. He is, I would say he's definitely in the running for top non-Korean player, certainly. And he's shown that he deserves to be here. You know, he's taken a game off Liquid HerO, forced a game 3. Yeah, and we'll have to see what happens. This is a big map, though. And if we remember, in game number 1, he actually opened very, very well and was able to put Liquid HerO quite far behind for a significant part of that game. So, you know, in all of these games, it's been very competitive. One of those he won, and we'll see what he does from here on out. HerO, of course, has opened up with Gateway, then double gas 2 on each gas in both of the games so far. First one ended up becoming a Stargate because of what he saw out of his opponent. Game number 2, a little more conventional Stalker Sentry expand. Yeah, it's been interesting to see how StarCraft 2 has kind of evolved over time. It's a game where the matchups constantly change, right? The openings constantly change. One opening may be very dominant for a while, another one can come up to stop it, and then the race that is playing it needs to innovate. They need to kind of change up what they're doing. That SCV nearly died, man. That was close.
Yeah. And
go back to mining.
Yeah, the probe getting out of there for now. It looks like he's going to take another pass here in a second. That one will have to be healed up once HerO actually does identify which one that is. I want to say back on HerO's side of things, though, it is going to be Nexus first. He's very nearly up to 400 resources, but hasn't sent that probe out quite yet. Maybe a Forge? I don't know. No, okay, he is going to run down.
Oh, if he
put
down
that Nexus here in a second.
If he gets a Forge after this, that would be totally awesome. I mean, you don't often see Forges in Protoss versus Terran, but it is something that Protoss players have been experimenting with a little bit more. It will be a gateway this time, but yeah, you made me think about that other openings.
We saw it the other day in Team League, so
yeah, we did.
Actually ends up being pretty cool because you can hold off little bio pushes behind just a couple of cannons. You get your upgrades a little bit earlier, especially that critical +1 armor.
Yeah, you get that +1 armor. A lot of people will choose to go for Archons very quickly after that as well. But HerO going with the normal opening Nexus first into a gateway. Quantic.Illusion going for that 1 barracks expand with no gas taken quite yet. He's going to just make some more SCVs and Marines, and we'll see what he does out of this. He could, you know, some Terran players choose to put down 2 refineries, start getting their gas very aggressively after that. Some, like Illusion showed us last game, like to get, you know, 2, maybe 3 more barracks, produce a lot of units to stay safe with early on, and to get a little bit aggressive.
And we'll see what he ends up going with here. So he is sitting on just that 1 barracks for the time being, but he saved up quite a considerable amount of resources. So maybe we're looking at another command center here momentarily.
We certainly could. I mean, this is a map that you can get away with getting, you know, 3 command centers very early, and there it is, a 3rd command center. Oh, but it's being taken. He's hiding the command center at the top of the map. Oh, man, that is a bold move. What a huge risk being taken by Quantic.Illusion right now. But if it pays off, it's pretty cool, man. I mean, if this pays off, what this means is that he's going to have a huge boost in economy early on. That's going to mean he's going to be able to produce a much larger army, potentially, than his opponent early on. And if he can get away with it, if his opponent doesn't scout it, he's going to be able to attack with an almost unbeatable force. Now, the only curveball that can be thrown his way, of course, is if HerO was looking to do something like that super strong gateway attack at the beginning of the game. Like we said, this is a map that is conducive to it. You're not going to get a ton of pressure very early on from Terran players because of the walk distance, but conversely, you can use a forward pylon to warp in anywhere on the map at the same time. So he'll go ahead and, looks like, run in a Zealot here. I don't think a probe has been sent across, just that Zealot and Stalker so far. Yeah, well, with something like this, too, as a Terran player, you'll want to have an SCV out scouting around the map for that early aggression. That Zealot nearly dying there, having to run for his life. The typical Zealot Stalker pressure early on. HerO's going to be able to poke in, see that the bunker is there, you know, if he decides to kind of continue to look. You saw it with the Zealot already, but he's going to be able to keep pretty close tabs on what's at the front, anyway, of his opponent's base. Yep, does a little bit of damage to the Marine there, but Illusion being very good about cycling out the Hurt Marines, or cycling in the Hurt Marines. And indeed, this was actually Nexus. Gateway Nexus. He's following this up with a couple more gateways, but HerO's going to be on 3 bases and with a ton of income very, very soon. Yeah, but Illusion has been on 3 bases faster, which is the key here. I mean, what HerO is doing is very common right now in Protoss versus Terran. Take that very, very fast 3rd base. It's a risk, of course, because you don't have as many offensive units to defend with, but, and look at that, Illusion does scout it with his SCV, but if you take it, the idea is to follow it up with a very big gateway attack. You make a lot of gateways, you attack with a lot of low-tier units when they're not expecting it. Normally that works pretty well, but Illusion is going to have an economy that's going to be able to keep up with it as long as he makes enough barracks himself.
And we'll see what he ends up making here very soon. It looks like he does have 2 more barracks finished up with that stim technology on the way.
Yep.
And +1 weapons as well, but no factory down quite yet, no additional barracks down quite yet, no additional bunkers down quite yet. Back on HerO's side, though, just sitting on 3 gateways and going up to a robo.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised here, not deciding to go with that big gateway attack. One of the reasons you put down a lot more gateways. Oh, he found it. And now Illusion needs to make a run for it with that command center. It's going to take a long time for him to get that back to a position where he can really use it. And immediately, though, starting another command center. Wow, Illusion playing crazy this game.
No kidding. What has he seen out of his opponent? That's what I want to know. All he knows about is the 3 bases, and that's it. But he doesn't know tech. He doesn't know the robo over the front. He doesn't know that there are a few gateways. 3 more gateways on the way, and it is going to be 6-gate robo now.
Yep, that's right. So I think we're going to see HerO do a pretty strong attack here early on. He's actually getting a Twilight Council fairly quickly as well, and Blink Stalkers could work pretty well, I would say, in the situation, so that's an option for what we'll see out of Liquid HerO. I'm wondering what Illusion's plan is, though, if he's going to try to just float that base that he's had to move now over to his normal 3rd base location, or if he's just going to put it in his main, perhaps, and just get more SCVs. He could also land it at that base that's just above his main, too, but that, again, and that's what he's going to do. It could work, but I'm sure HerO's going to scout for this. It's going to be very vulnerable there as well.
That's right. Until Illusion's able to appropriately defend it, which may be a while, it's going to become very difficult. But Blink is on the way now for HerO, and he is producing off of 6 gates with rather good economy at the moment. He is up to 59 probes and continuing to build those at a very rapid rate. Yeah,
this is such, this is another really bizarre game. We're seeing both players kind of a little bit pushed out of their element, having to do things that they don't normally have to do. And I'm really curious to see where things are going to go from there. I mean, HerO, like we mentioned a little bit earlier, looks like he wants to just go with Blink Stalkers. Blink is about halfway done right now. He can use Blink to maneuver very quickly between his opponent's bases, kind of attack on a lot of fronts at once. Illusion's still going to have a very beefy army. He's going to have a lot of units. He's going to have pretty decent upgrades too, but I feel like the mobility of HerO's Blink Stalkers are really what's going to be the problem for Illusion in the coming minutes in this game.
It's going to be difficult for Illusion to hold on to this base once it's found out once again. Actually, I want to take a look at HerO's vision. Has he seen it?
He's not seen it yet, no.
No, but he's got to suspect something is up soon.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Illusion does actually have his 4th base finished, so he's going to be on 4 command centers here momentarily, but now HerO finishing up gateways number 7 and 8 with Blink Stalkers is going to be able to make an incredibly strong push.
Oh, man, and we have a bit of an awkward situation here. The army for Illusion scouted by those Zealots coming towards the 3rd base. HerO, though, deciding, he's thinking about right now if he wants to attack. Oh, no, he's going to try to trap Illusion's forces between his 2 army chunks there.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be able to do it. Oh, except for a bunch of Illusion or HerO's forces were actually off to the side, so he's going to require really, really good Blink Stalker control here. One of the Stalkers did go down. Forward pylon going to fall as well. HerO out of his Blink a little bit here and loses a couple additional Stalkers. Illusion continuing to run up, though, and he's going to pick off some economy. Very well done, but he is going to lose his entire force.
Yeah, in the end, this army dying without doing a whole lot of damage. He killed a couple workers, but that's not really going to hurt HerO all that much. Yeah, he just killed 6 in total this game, so that's not going to do a lot for him, and he did just lose a lot of units. Right now, the Protoss player ahead in total supply. His army is bigger. This defense at the 3rd base, I've got a feeling, is what's going to decide the game for HerO and Illusion here.
Oh, one of the sentries goes down very quickly. The other one forced the comment shield, and it's going to go down as well. I'm sorry, Guardian shield. But yeah, 2 of the sentries gone, just 1 more remaining, and Illusion is able to pick off many of those forces without taking any losses of his own. But then HerO's doubling back, pulling back right now. He's going to have very, very good Blink Micro, and does, throwing down the last couple of force fields with all the energy that he had on the available sentry. But sentries coming from the side as well, trapping those units inside a little force field ring.
Yeah, Illusion just does not have enough to fight this right now after losing the Medivacs. The last Marauder does go down, and now Illusion is going to have to desperately defend his 3rd base, building barracks to try to reduce, kind of try to create a choke point that his opponent has to go through. But look at that army that is so small compared to his opponents.
Yeah, the supplies weren't too different there because he had so much in production compared to HerO, but HerO's available forces on the field are just crushing.
Yeah, and I mean, Illusion's really trying to do everything he can with his army. He does have 1 more base than his opponent, so it isn't quite as dire as it would normally be, but this is going to be a tough force to stop for Illusion. He might have to abandon this 3rd base.
Yeah, this is very difficult. That force keeps growing for HerO at the moment. He's reinforcing with a ton of Stalkers over and over again, and researching Storm and going up to double forge, so he will be able to start to tech his way out of this if he's actually held.
Medivacs help a little bit, but there's the Blink right on top of the army of Illusion. And I think that is going to be about it. SCV's attacking. They don't do very well.
Now they're pulled off the line, and HerO continuing, or will need to continue to blink back here, as there are still very powerful units out for Illusion. But look at the damage being done. Everything wrecked over at the third. We can see a total of 62 workers to 81 now in favor of HerO, and 17 have been killed in this game.
Well, it looks like Illusion may be able to barely hold off this attack, but we're in a similar situation to what we saw last game, where now it's the reverse. Now HerO's the one that can keep making units and keep hammering his opponent until he's dead. He's got that supply advantage. It's shrunk quite a bit, actually.
Yes, because we mentioned that third base before. Look at how many mules are sitting on this. Illusion has been continually mining off of this, and he didn't lose this command center, which is kind of interesting. HerO decided to pursue units rather than going after the structure itself. I figure if he would have killed that orbital command, he would have been at least on even economic footing. But as we can see from the income tab, Illusion with those mules still ahead, even though he's down 15 workers.
You know, you're absolutely right. HerO deciding to go after the army instead of the base itself, and I'm a little bit surprised about that. Normally, you'd want to go after the command center, try to pick that off, and then blink away. But HerO, I kind of think he thought he could end the game right there. I bet he doesn't know about the fourth base yet of his opponent here. It's still a good situation for HerO overall, but Illusion is totally back in this game.
Yeah, and we're in a situation where Illusion is actually up by about 13 supply in overall army. Does take a pretty big storm there, but of course his opponent can't make any Colossi right now, so he can keep powering ahead with all of these bio units. Whoa, he's got to watch out for those storms quite a bit, though, but all the Templar are now down, or at least turning into Archons.
He's got to dodge those storms. The medevacs, though, dying so quickly, and that means this army will not get healed up between uses of stim, so Illusion needing to run back yet again. He's still behind on supply. He's got medevacs on the way. He's got a huge army out right now. And HerO, I don't think has he still not seen that base? He still has no idea that that base is there.
That's really bad for him.
No
I mean,
kidding.
Illusion has not just been able to stay in this game, but pull that advantage. You know, you mentioned before that it wasn't as dire as it could have been with HerO being down on that third, but it was still just plenty enough. Oh, big storm there does eat a couple of units up at the front, but Illusion still able to do quite a bit of damage. Most of the Templar are now down.
Yeah, and killing the medevacs is really what's going to help quite a bit. He's got Zealots with charge as well. Those are going to be able to keep up with the units, and Illusion continuing to lose those medevacs.
Now, Illusion does have 2-2 finished up, though, and HerO's just sitting on 1-1 going over to 2-2, so Illusion finding a way to stabilize once again. This is just a huge tug-of-war battle, and it looks like HerO's going to try and win this by moving down to the bottom of the map and taking out this fourth, I guess it is.
Yeah, and it looks like Illusion's going to need to evacuate yet again. There go the SCVs. Is he going to storm on those? No, decide to save it. Oh, the Templar caught out of position, getting killed before dropping any storms at all.
Yeah,
HerO.
They didn't even have enough energy, which was really weird.
So, yeah, that was strange to see them all the way forward like that.
Illusion once again is able to hold on to this fourth base, and he's still sitting on 69 workers. So even though he's down by 15 workers, he's even on overall army supply. Oh, but HerO has finally found this base, and Illusion driven off.
Yep, he's going to need to evacuate yet again. The SCV is making a run for it. The command center having to lift. Supply still fairly even. Illusion a little bit behind here. He does have this base as well. Now, this base that we're looking at right now has a gas geyser that gives you a lot more gas than a normal one will. He's going to be able to use that to get a lot more upgrades, produce more expensive units. And, oh man, more Zealots in the main.
Yeah, Warperson drop coming in here, and Illusion needing to pull forces away once again, but he is still working off of a couple of mining bases, so the overall supply isn't all that dire. He himself is actually dropping at his opponent's base, but that is going to get cleaned up pretty quickly.
Yeah, it didn't go too well. So at the end of the day, when all the dust clears, both players pretty even right now.
Yeah.
Illusion slightly ahead on upgrades. He's going to have 3-3 a little bit sooner than his opponent will if HerO starts it right now, but in terms of supply, in terms of economy, things still fairly even. Illusion with just that slight edge economically because of those mules.
What a crazy game this has been, though, I have to say. No cheap games. All these games have gone past 20 minutes now, so certainly these guys playing nice long macro games, although of a very weird variety. Finally, at the 20-minute mark, our first couple of Colossi are coming out. Looks like there are two on the field.
Going for that third base, gets a Templar before any storms go down. Will he be able to take out this base? That would be huge if he can kill this Nexus. He needs to focus it down, though.
Yeah, HerO trying to run back with all of his forces, but of course he's pulling everything out of position. That's allowing Liquid HerO, or I'm sorry, Quantic.Illusion to move around the side now. There are a couple of Templars sitting there. That's a pretty good storm, and he does run up with a couple of charge lots as well. Those forces getting healed up there. Pretty good split of the forces, and Illusion going to continue running forward.
No kidding, he's going to have to load up and make a run for it, though. A lot of those units dying, and Illusion pushed back on both fronts. Great defense from Liquid HerO.
Yeah, but looks like Illusion is going to drop one more time. Archon morphing in. There wasn't enough energy on the Medivacs to really do any damage with feedback. So this Archon very low, and it does go down, but the Zealots are going to be enough, and Illusion has to get out of there.
Yeah, Illusion's drop play is kind of keeping HerO on his toes, but it really hasn't done the damage that we saw it do on Antigua Shipyard. On this map, HerO's been able to defend fairly well, and look at that. Bring up that workers kill count again. Look at that, 43 workers killed by HerO so far this game. That is tough, even with the Terran Mule to deal with.
And Colossi going to start sieging up that rich Vespian geyser you were talking about before, and unfortunately that SCV is
like, what the?
Looking dejected for a second and then plunged into the depths of hell. So
pretty much, yeah. It's a little bit rough when the building you're in suddenly just evaporates. But HerO trying to put some pressure on his opponent again. Illusion trying to defend. HerO with a big supply advantage right now. This could be a push that'll decide the game.
And this orbital command on fire, being driven away. It looks like finally HerO is going to just go ahead and focus this one down. Of course, he did a very nice thing. Yeah, kills the orbital command, but he was sieging up this base that forced all the units for Illusion to react over here. But as soon as he did so, he ducked around to this base, almost reminiscent of something like on Blistering Sands, where the attacker does have a really good position to go ahead and move back and forth.
Well, you know, Illusion actually made a really good decision in letting that base die. He knew he couldn't defend it with what he had right there. Oh, but HerO doing some damage at that other third base as well. Now Illusion needs to be out on the map. He needs to be getting a little bit aggressive, but I like the patience so far shown by Illusion. If anything's going to win him this game, it's going to be that. You know, not getting overly aggressive, not getting overly eager, you know, keeping his head and not making mistakes.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the overall worker count. So Illusion's sitting at about half the workers of his opponent.
That hurts.
But they are basically even on army supply, which is interesting to note. So Illusion could certainly win this engagement, and he does pick off one of the Colossi, but Storm's keeping his forces back really far and actually killing quite a few units as well. Pretty good Storms there from HerO.
Pretty decent EMPs. The Storms as well, though, doing a ton of damage. HerO really playing well with that. The drop in that base.
That was really cute. HerO running down and storming from the high ground there. That was really, really cool. Now HerO actually going to clean up the rest of these forces. Illusion has to get out of there, finding himself at about a 50 supply disadvantage.
Yep, I mean, that's the thing. Every time he decides to get aggressive, every time he tries to do damage, HerO is just there with such a solid defense. Illusion loses a lot more each time he pushes than he wants to, so it's going to be tough. I feel like he needs to sit back, make sure this fourth base that we're looking at right now stays safe, wait until he maxes out at the maximum supply, and then, you know, worry about getting aggressive, attacking, defending at that point. He doesn't even have a 200 max for supply depots anymore.
Yeah, you're right. Needs to rebuild some of those here in just a bit. Had to float down one of his orbital commands down to the bottom of the map, but he can start to retake his fifth if he wanted to at some point, or at least take a risk there. But HerO, with that maxed army, pushing one more time, actually investing in a Dark Shrine as well as his 3/3 upgrades.
Yep, and now the problem that Terrans kind of run into in this stage in the game is that Protoss has a lot of stuff that does damage to an area instead of a single unit, where Terran doesn't. They've got EMP to reduce the shields of the Protoss units, but overall, I mean, Protoss can kill Terran units a lot more efficiently in these big late-game engagements.
All right, so HerO going to start rolling right down the front, though, over next to this fourth base. A few units getting caught out of position, and Illusion has his entire army on the other side of the map, basically.
Yeah, he needs to respond really quickly. Does he know about this base in the bottom right? He can try to trade if he wants to, because he is definitely losing that one, and he will, going after this base as well. But will it matter? I mean, HerO still going to be on even bases, even after losing this one.
Yeah, I mean, Illusion now just essentially mining off of one base. Not essentially, he is mining off of just one base, and HerO's just going to go for it.
He's going for it. He doesn't mind base trading at this point in the game. So is Illusion going to go for HerO's base, or is he going to come home and defend? He needs to make a choice.
It looks like he's going to opt for HerO's base, so it's going to be a base trade. Now, will Illusion be able to successfully do this? There are so many bases up for HerO, and he has a lot of delay, not just in DTs, but also in these High Templar as well. In fact, because there are only a couple of orbital commands, oh my god, storm. What a good storm.
So much damage. The unit's just sitting underneath it, and again, not dodging at all. Oh, the army for Illusion just getting slaughtered.
Wow. It looks like HerO is going to take this game. Illusion trying to roll through now and continue to deny bases. He will get this one here, but just a handful of units from HerO would be able to clean that up.
Yeah, HerO back at home, absolutely crushing Quantic.Illusion's base. So Zealots tearing apart everything. The Colossi and Archons doing plenty of damage as well. And even with this base trade, I mean, HerO's defense, just like it's been all game long, has been a little bit too much for Illusion to handle. Hardly any units left that can do damage right now. for our Terran player, and I think we're going to have to see him tap out fairly soon.
And looks like I believe he just EMP'd over his own units there. There may have been a little bit of frustration. He does have a force up in the top left-hand corner. Feedback's actually taking out all the energy from the medevacs, and now these bio units a little bit on their own.
Yeah, that's right. Trying to microwave. GG. Good luck from Illusion. Good manners at the end there, but GG, that is it. And Liquid HerO takes the set 2-1.